Here come the big rig kids, y'all. Are you ready? Let's go. Here come the big rig kids. Roll with the big rig kids. Let's have fire the truck take you to such a
Welcome everybody. You are with Conversations with Grandma Polly once again this week. I'm Kenneth J, the producer behind the show, because you know my sister is the star of the show. But we're here today, have a very exciting guest who's going to be delving into the conversation. It's a continuation of last week, but it's from a different perspective, a woman's perspective. And by that, I'll introduce the woman that you all know and love, has Grandma Polly. Bring her on in.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to Conversations with My Polly. Today, first of all, thank you, my wonderful brother Kenneth, for producing this show, and our guest today, Senetra McDuffie. I want to thank you so much for being here. And as you guys know, last week we had the conversation on hurting fathers dealing with the court system. Well, we're still dealing with that same conversation today, but it's from a mother's perspective who is a single mom. She's raising her children. A little bit before we go into this, the reason I wrote these Big Rig Kid book series is to create conversations in our families. And even when it comes down to child support, parenting, parents living in different homes, I think the key to it all, the beginning of it all, the ending of it all, the middle of it all, is communication. We have to learn to communicate so that we can heal and we can have healthy children, not where we're trying to fix or repair broken adults because we were broken and we pass it down from generation to generation. And we're going to go a little bit more into this, but right now, I want you guys to help me thank my brother Kenneth and also welcome Miss Senetra McDuffie. We're going to turn it over to you, Senetra.
Hi, my name is
Tell us
Senetra
a little
McDuffie.
bit about yourself.
Um, my name is Senetra. Hello, McDuffie. I'm from Washington, D.C., but I live in Charlotte. I have had the honor and the pleasure of knowing Grandma Polly for a good amount of time. She is a blessing. So I know whatever she's bringing to the table, it's going to be wisdom, it's going to be love, and it's going to be communication about a legacy in the future. I love you. And now I love your brother because he set this up.
I give you some love for that.
Now let's give Senetra a big hand. And Senetra, you know, we're going to dive right into this because I know you are a single mom.
Yes.
And coming from the history of single moms, I mean, how does this affect your parenting as a single mom? And then we're going to go into, the process of the child support, the family circle, and different stuff like that. But let's talk about how this is affecting you as a single parent.
Um, so as you said, I come from a history of single
Can
women.
you hear me? Oh, okay.
Yes, I come from a history of single moms. It wasn't my best plan at all, but it's been a wonderful blessing. Um, I always think about single moms, and it is hard. And I know when you see me on Facebook and my daughter and I, we're all these places and we're having a great time. It looks easy, but a lot of that is intentional. You have to put forth effort. Not to take away from couples that are married, because I've talked to people who are married and they're like, sometimes sadly they feel like they're single because of what they have to do. I even remember having friends who were like, they would want to have kids, but they
Mm-hmm.
hadn't gotten married. And they would ask me, Do you think I should just go ahead and have kids? And I'm like, no. And let me tell you the simple reason why. Because when you want to leave your house to go get a Coca Cola, you have a husband there that can watch your child. When I want to leave, I got to pack the diaper bag up. I got to pack a bottle. It's not worth it anymore for me to leave the house because at the time it was just me. I have one daughter. She's 14 now. And I had her in 2006. And even though I was pretty good and grown, I remember telling my mom about about being pregnant, and her reaction was, "Oh no, I guess you're gonna have to come move home and live with me, and we'll help you." Home being 400 miles away in Maryland, and I remember distinctly thinking, "No, I really think I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna at least try." My daughter's father lives in well, at the time he lived in Chicago, but now he lives in DC. And it was scary, but it was also so exciting. Um, Now let me tell you about the hurt part, because one of the things that I loved about what I heard last week was a talk about healing and things like that. So I don't ever want to present that it was roses and everything was perfect. I was super hurt that her father didn't move here with me and help me raise our daughter. I was crushed. It was like because although I had that image in my mind, real talk, I hadn't created the reality for those things to take place. So here I am in a town that I don't have any family
Mm.
in, and I had a Solly who and it was scary and wonderful. Being a single mom with a newborn in your house, you are it. You are everything to her. You are food, water, entertainment. You are the friend. And it can be overwhelming, but God always gives you these crazy, satisfying moments where you see that everything is worthwhile. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that's
I want you to I want you to put a pin right there
okay.
because you touched on something that so many of us have dealt with. When you became pregnant with the Solid, which is so beautiful, she's beautiful inside and out. But your mom said, "Come back home. We're going to help you." I am a '60s baby, and during that time, my grandparents did the same thing. Hey, we're gonna take the baby. We're gonna raise the baby. And the direct what you hit on there with Senetra is because I want to take it in a little in a direction just a little bit different from what you're talking about because during the '60s and before then and even after that, the grandparents would step up and say, "Oh, we're gonna take these kids. We're gonna raise this child. You're not capable of raising this child. You're not old enough to raise this child. You go out and get a job and we'll take the child."
Hmm.
So when we talk about child support, because we're coming back around this with you, but I got to develop this first. What we as a people have failed to realize, especially us as people of color, when I hear the bickering going back and forth, oh, he don't want to pay child support. The lady on the other hand, oh, I'm gonna take him to court. I'm gonna make him pay. You know, he was good until he got with somebody else. So what was your motive behind it? Um, that's how it was. Now we got a system that's set up, and we got to stop and notice this. The system now says if a woman in some states, I only know of 2 states that does it, and it may be more. But if a woman in this state has a child and they get Medicaid and they get food stamps and they get welfare, now our men are being attacked and we don't even realize it. because the two states that I'm talking about, if that man's name is on that birth certificate, the state is going to get that money back. As soon as he gets put on child support, the state gets all of that money back that that man is supposed to be paying to that woman and that child before the woman and the child even sees it.
Right.
So we have allowed the system to divide us as a people. And then the ones who the system don't get involuntarily, they get them voluntarily. So we have to get to a point where we as a people have to learn how to figure it out amongst ourselves. And I know I went on for a little bit. I'm gonna let you jump in
No,
on that, and then we're gonna go into these questions.
it's weird. I agree. I agree so much with that because times are, we say they're changed, but they're also the same. The system, and I did
Yes,
not do child support. We had talked about that. I didn't do child support because I was in a better position um,
yes,
than he was. So, but there's things in the system where the government can actually deny the parent who has the child money if they don't put the father on the birth certificate. They can say, if you're not going to tell us who the
right,
father is, then we're not going to give you any support. It's an it's an interesting circle of anger. I think the desire for the court system is to make it a system of responsibility. It's not. It really isn't. Unfortunately,
no,
it is a system that can create a lot more drama than it's worth. For me, not being in the system, I was very fortunate. I made more, simple and plain. I also, his mother, because when we talk about relationships, I have to speak on her. She was intentional
mm-hmm,
day one of being my mom V, no matter who he was with or not with. She considered herself my mom and that her granddaughter, and we were her family. And his father
mm-hmm,
did the same thing. And what impressed me about that so much, because you talk about the anger and the things, and his mama did that. I didn't thankfully have that experience, but it was intentional. I had to intentionally be at peace with her being a
right,
part of my life. I had to intentionally, I couldn't be mad at her for loving her granddaughter because that was her son. It didn't, it's not the foundation that I wanted to lay for my daughter. And that is the most important part in child support, I think, is you really have to think about what life do you want for your child? What do you want them to have? What do you want them to see? And who do you want them to be? Because it can get real ugly.
yes. And when you say have, that's another touch right there because I was a child who never received child support from my dad. My grandparents did what they did. If it had today, my dad, we have a relationship, but the old me now, if I was to ask the question, what would be one of the greatest gifts that my dad could have or still give me? It wouldn't be about the money. For me, it would be about building that relationship because missing someone who's not there, having that void of someone who's not there, is more painful than me buying a pair of shoes that's not brand name. Okay, I don't
Exactly.
need the labels on my back. I need to know that I'm loved and that I'm cared for. And I'm gonna let you in.
Last
Go
week,
ahead.
you said something about men not understanding the role in a girl's life. Yes, I'm a mom and I have a daughter. I can teach her
Mm-hmm.
by example, by lessons, how to be a lady and how to be a woman. But there is such a blessing that our girls are missing out on when the fathers, a lot of, and I can't say a lot, I refuse to use the word a lot. There are some who the mentality from conversations with other men, oh, I'm going to get involved in her life when she's 18, and then I don't have to deal with her mother. Or
Mm-hmm.
she has a mother and only her mother can teach her how to be a woman. No, a man can teach a woman also what to expect from a man, what to expect from a relationship, not just a sexual
Yes,
relationship, but just a business relationship. When you're at work, you know how men speak,
yes,
how they hear, how they feel about certain things. We learn those lessons from our fathers so that I know how best to communicate with you. So it is that
right.
is more money. Is it the money is great. That's cool. It is the relationship that lays the foundation for how she's going to raise her child. Me with my daughter Asali, I struggle with that because I'm an independent single mom, and all that comes with it. But I also want male mentors into her life, that can teach her things. I had a mentor in my life. He taught me how to change tires. He taught me how to do so many things. And these umpteen years later, those lessons were important, not just because I know how to do it, but because I knew I was making a male figure proud. And he wasn't asking anything of me in
Yes,
that
yes,
relationship.
yes,
So it taught me that
yes, yes. I
my
agree.
I'm not my sexy, I'm not my that men can like you because they love you, because they care about you, because they want you to be better. And they don't want
Right,
anything back in return. And that's what fathers give to their daughters.
Give
right.
it up for that.
That is, oh, you just hit that nail on the head.
Yeah.
Because when it came down to that, which was my grandfather, when he was out there changing car tires, I was out there with him. When he was out there under the car hood, I was out there with him. When he was on the roof nailing shingles, I was out there with him. When he was in the hog pen cleaning out troughs, I was out there with him. I was that little tomboy.
Hmm.
That's what I got from that man's side. And
Right.
the way I saw, the way I watched him treat mom, his wife, my grandmother,
Yes.
that's what I was looking for in a mate. It wasn't about, oh, you so pretty, oh, you got this fine body, or, ooh, this
Right.
guy is so handsome, he's such a hunk. That man got a body, oh, I want him. No, it's all about the mentality of a person, their way of
And
thinking and the way they do things. And a lot of times women get with people and the signs are already there who the person is. Sometimes we as females, sometimes we as females go into relationships thinking we can change somebody. Oh, because he done ran these lines about how his other girlfriend he had, she wasn't doing this and she wasn't right. Now he done left a baby over there and he's coming over here to you with all these lines. And you're thinking your relationship is going to be so much better. It's not that the guy is a bad person, but
exactly.
that's a man who's not ready for responsibility.
Right. Men
So
have the
you have to
ability
pay
to
attention
teach
to
women
all
honor.
of these.
They have the ability to teach women honor. They have
Say that again because you
the
broke up.
they oh, I'm sorry. They have the men have the ability to teach women honor. To teach how to honor and
Yes,
how to seek the best, because always, and this is, I'll tell you my concern. I hate to use the word fear, but with me coming from a legacy of single moms, I'm intentional in explaining to Asali why that is not the perfect thing. If it happens, understood. But there is beauty in connecting and having a mom and a dad who are active in your life. If they're not toxic, if they're not pulling you in each direction and using you as a
Right.
pawn to get back at each other, even if they're not together, when they can
Right.
still both feed into you because you are their treasure, you are their heart, you are all those things. When that works, you make a, let me, I'm goofy. I always tell Asali, my job as a mom is to make you not a jerk. I need to have you be a good human being. To do that, I need to put you and surround you in relationships that feed into that knowledge. Because you ain't ready for wisdom yet. You're still a little kid. But as you get older, it's going to turn into wisdom. Like you said with your grandfather, those it may have been hot out there. You may have
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go in, but somebody else had gotten on one of your cousins had gotten on your nerves, so you was going to go sit up under grandpa, and he always cherished the time with you. But as an adult, you're like, that taught me this. That taught me this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It,
See.
it, it really did. And I appreciate it even today because I believe the things that I learned from them made me the person who I am today. Now I could sit around and be angry at my dad because he wasn't there. My mom could be angry about him because he wasn't there, and that does not change the situation. What it does is it creates a toxicity. And when you bring all this toxic stuff together, it is nothing but chaos. So I think
And
we need to get back to communicating. That's the key. Communication is the prime key. Okay, you don't want to do this, fine. I got to figure out how I'm going to do for my child. No, my child may not be able to wear the 200 pairs of Jordans or all this other stuff that, we go into. We're putting it on our kids' back instead of putting it on the inside of them because they're going to grow up and be adults also. And if
right.
all I saw was my mom and dad arguing or my dad never showing up, and then in some cases we got women who don't have custody of their kids, our mom's never showing up, and we're just feeding into this, and we're giving them all the negative energy. Well, why are you wasting your time hoping that he will show up, or why are you wasting your time hoping she will show up? You know they're not coming. Occupy that time with something else,
Right.
with something productive.
And
And Senetra, I know you did not get child support, but I'm gonna ask you, since you didn't, what was your plan? Did you have a plan in place?
you know me.
I know I
I
just
am
dumped a
very
lot on you. I'm sorry.
I laugh. I am very free spirited. I did not I had a great job. Um so I had the money. The financial part was good. It was it came. So I was like, okay, I need a babysitter. I need a good daycare. I will tell you, I did start planning things and being more strategic as she got older because I learned, for example, that I couldn't stand doing homework with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to make sure she had a great tutor and she was always in a great school. And because that was my weak spot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I want to go back to you and talking about seeing parents
Mm-hmm.
argue. I almost, and I'm big on this. Arguing is not bad when it can be resolved and it's not toxic and it's not name calling.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna always disagree. You're gonna disagree. But when you get to the other side of that
Mm-hmm.
disagreement and you can communicate, and as parents, that's what we wanna, in this crazy world right now, where people are very left or very right, you want to instill in them the ability to be a mediator or the ability to be okay and not have to agree with
Mm-hmm.
everything or have somebody agree with you. So, it's weird. A lot of people had asked me, why didn't you go to court? And honestly, I just didn't want to. I literally didn't want to. I'd heard good stories about going to court, and I had heard angry stories about going to court. In my mind, what court would present to me is
Mm-hmm.
having me tied up in a lot of things that I didn't want to be tied up in. Um, I I can say this honestly. Solly was mine. So with her, I didn't want to have to
Mm-hmm.
go to court so somebody could tell me when I had to drive her up to Maryland to go see her dad, or that she had to do X, Y, and Z every weekend. We had a system, we had a way of doing things, and I didn't want that interrupted. Um, it wasn't to
Right.
take. When I talk to my girlfriends, and I am oddly fortunate to the fact that we don't live in the same state. So there wasn't a whole lot of going back and forth where you had to spend 10% time here and 20 here. No, I am it. And I hear the term co-parenting, and that's great. I love it when it works, but when it doesn't work, I don't ever feel obligated to force it. If it doesn't, I've said as a single mom to my daughter, and me and her dad, we speak all the time. I mean, we're associates. I was gonna say we're good friends. We're I can say we're friends. And his mother is family. So I told her, I never want you to think that I don't want you to
Mm-hmm.
see your dad. So whenever you say you want to see him, done. Whenever you want to call him, do it. I have no problem with your father. And I need you to hear that so that when you get older, whatever hurt might be in your heart from the fractured relationship, you'll understand that you still had an opportunity to communicate. It wasn't that you were held back from communicating, and it wasn't that he was held back from communicating. So I want her to have fresh ground when she gets older, if that makes any sense.
Perfect. Perfect sense.
It really does. I mean, it's wide open and it alleviates the bickering back and forth and the fighting back and forth. And I believe that when it comes down to the bickering and the fighting, Kenny, put that back for a second and I'll
Yeah,
go with my
there it
thought.
is.
Yes, I was hearing so many negative things about support. That is what kept me from pursuing child support from my daughter's father.
Hmm.
Having my family support emotionally helped me a lot. And that's the way it's been. It's just now we're I'm still trying to figure out where all of this chaos and back and forth, is coming from now. And sometimes I think, and I mentioned it last week, ladies, don't y'all cancel me, but sometimes it's the advice that we get from other people.
Hmm.
Are we talking to someone who has some wisdom and they're going to
Boom.
guide you, well, you know what? This
I
is the situation, but look, wait a minute, Kenny, I need to finish this thought and I'm going to let you jump in. This is the situation, and this is what I learned from daddy, and it had nothing to do with child support. It was just life. This is the situation. Some things you have to leave alone. Some things you got to let go, and some things you got to let work itself out. But if he was a man who was not a man of wisdom, like I said last week, sometimes as women we allow our sisters, and when I say sisters, I'm not even just blood sisters, friends, co-workers, all this. If I was you, I would do this. Oh, he done went and did this. I would do this. Now, wait a minute. Now you causing more chaos in my life when I'm the one who have to deal with those decisions. So, am I really seeking advice from someone who has wisdom, or am I dealing with somebody who's just as foolish as my thoughts are? And I'm put a pin right there, Kenny. You can jump in, and then as soon as you're gonna put me behind you,
I think
Kenny.
yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Okay. I
Yes,
think a lot of what's going on
yes,
is divide and
yes.
conquer. You know, the system, the court system is not set up. It's just like the prison system isn't set up to rehabilitate or help anybody. It's set up to divide people and to make
Right.
money off of them. You know, you spending money on lawyers that
Yes.
the more angst you get, the more money they make. You know what I mean? And that's how I see it. You know, and I think, like you said, Renee, we do have to get back to where the whole family just is there, and the dads need to step up too. I'm going to put that out there. Whatever you're going through, because I've been through. I'm sure every man has their story, just like every woman has their story. But it's like, irregardless of all of that, irregardless of that, think about your child. You know, think about your child in that, and sometimes things can get so violent where you have to move to another city because of stalking and people are doing some crazy stuff, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
that kind of brings weight down,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, but you have to think about the long term when you're in those kind of situations. You have to think about the long term, the child's safety and everything, because one parent kills another parent, that child is caught up in the system now for
Mm-hmm.
life, you know, or that, and then the other parent's in jail. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's so much, so many layers to peel back on that.
Mm-hmm.
Why people respond the way they do in certain things, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my take, ladies. So I'm gonna give it back to you.
Kenneth, let me tell you, I
Okay,
thought that
real quick. We're
Oh,
gonna go back to. Okay, go ahead,
let
Senator.
Sinitra say her
I,
point.
I was
Uh,
gonna say I'm so impressed with you saying that because
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead,
want to say,
Senator.
because when I would say men need to step up, it's bashing. So I'm gonna go on the opposite side, and we as women also need to step up. We need to deal with if there's anger.
Right.
And let me tell you something when it comes to anger. You could be 100% right. You could be right. But your rightness isn't going to change anything. And that anger that you hold in your rightness, like Chico said last week, it affects your body. It affects the relationship with your child. Your little girl is the best reader of your attitude, mama, than anybody on the planet. You don't even have to say good morning. When your daughter or your son, I know for me, my daughter, walks by me in the morning, she can tell if I got an attitude, if I'm mad. She'll ask me before I open my mouth, "You okay?" So if they can feel your energy and you're giving off negativity, the adult, you're responsible for fixing it.
Definitely.
That's deep. That is so deep right there. And I'm going to back up just a little bit, Kenny, into what you said.
Okay.
And that's the point that I'm driving home. And I made the same statement last week. When it comes down to our court system, and that's what I was talking about in these states where, you know, Medicaid and all this stuff paid for you to have that baby. Now you go and put the man on child support, or the state put the man on child support. You're still not seeing any of this money until the state gets their money back from the child support that's ordered. Let's think about it this way. Back during slavery, and I mentioned this last week, we as women, when you look at these old movies and stuff, we protected our men. I could remember, Mom, I don't care what dad did, or what the dad went out and worked. When dad came home, Mama had his food ready, his clothes ready. I used to think she was crazy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This woman would get up 2 o'clock in the morning to cook him breakfast before he went to work, and cook him lunch so that he would have lunch at work. Y'all ain't gonna lie to y'all. That's not one of the qualities I took from her. I do cook, but I'm not getting up 2 o'clock in the morning to cook breakfast if you're going to work. But our women back then protected our men. Today we are fighting our men. And when we take them to court, And we're sitting up in there. Now we're saying we still don't respect our men. And for the men not to hold up their part of the burden towards our women, they're not respecting us either. So all levels of respect has been lost. And these people out here are making money off of us. And we're the ones who's fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get back to that communication and love.
Yeah,
Okay,
our
Senator,
children are
I'm done
angry.
with that.
No, you're right.
Go ahead.
You are so. Oh, I was saying our children are angry as a result of that, and they don't even know why. They're just,
Yes,
and so they lash out in other
yes.
ways. I will say I have. He is Solly's dad has given me money, and when I ask for money, I get it. It's it's just the process of the court system. So on there it says I'm a liability analyst. I handle insurance claims, so I also deal a lot with the court system because
Mm-hmm.
people sue each other, and I almost feel bad when people say I'm going to get a lawyer because I'm like, do you know that's just like getting another claims adjuster? It's nothing. It's for that lawyer's profit. Your energy would be well spent in other
Yes.
directions. And it's not, there are cases, do not get me wrong, where I'm like, good googly moogly, you need a lawyer. But it's usually
Yes.
the scenarios
Yes, I
that
agree.
happen that take place where people instantly, I'm going to sue, I'm going to take you to court, I'm going to do this. That is piecemeal and of no consequence. The only person that it affects is you.
Right.
That's it. It really, the men who are angry
That's very
about
true.
payment, God bless you. I feel sad that you don't want to take care of your child, but you need to come up with something because that is your legacy. It's a lot of old men that I know
Yes.
who are related to some who are sad and angry and bitter because they did not develop relationships with their children. And now they want their children to participate in their lives. And the children, now grown, possibly single moms like me, when you come from a single mom and then you are a single mom, it's a reality check for your behind. The things my mother did for me and my sister, because there was two of us, I struggled with one. The things that she did, the things that she sacrificed, I now see clear. So
Uh-huh.
it is hard. You literally have to say, I make peace with the father that wasn't there because you saw what this woman went through. And she never, my mom never complained. It just was, and we laughed about that because back in the 60s, my mom had my sister when she was 16. You just took care of it. She went to night school. Aunt so and so picked my sister
Yeah.
up, and you never complained. It was your normal. She was like, I don't ever really remember complaining about having to get on one bus and transfer and then go to school and then pick up your sister and then do this and have a full-time job. You just did it. So
Yeah. And that's it. They did it. They did it. They did it. But we gotta understand too. I'm gonna get a little messy with y'all ladies now. Don't y'all cancel me. Some women are okay with that until that guy goes and get with somebody else. And that ain't cool. Ain't nothing cool about that. Women, I empathize, the single parent, because all single parent don't come from a situation like Senetra or a situation like so many other women are out there. Some of these women have been married and had children and ended up being divorced and they ended up with custody of the kids. So now they're still that single mom. We have to take some accountability and we have to take some responsibility there also because at the end of the day, it's not just about us, it's about that child. And if you're with a guy or you were with a guy and things did not work out between y'all. You wasn't a bad person, the guy wasn't a bad person, the two of you just were not meant for each other. And even that one still screwed up and messed up and did some stupid stuff, but then you separated and he or she move on to somebody else. Because guys stalk women too. So I'm coming from both sides. Go on with your life. Don't get so bitter to where, oh, but now I'm gonna get the judge. I've heard women saying that just cringe me. He don't want to do what's right. I'm going down here so the white man could tell him what he got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why you just can't come together?
Grandma
Have a
Polly,
conversation. Okay, boo, look, this ain't working. You go your way, I go mine. Let's sit down and decide who's gonna, like Tyler Perry said, who gonna pick up the child? Who gonna buy the diapers? Who gonna pay this? Who gonna pay that? And we both still live a happy life instead of trying to destroy each other. And I know some of y'all women thought I was gonna come on here today and bash our guys, but it's not about that. I'm talking about community, unity, and coming back together because there's
I,
enough negativity out there. We have to
Grandma
get it
Polly, I'm
together.
gonna go real, because you know how you thought you were gonna be canceled. I don't want to get you canceled, but let me tell you where the anger comes from. It's hilarious. It's so, because there's so much stuff out there now. So when you go on Facebook and you see your ex man at the
Yep,
beach, and you just picked up your kids, and you was running late, and it was raining, and you still got to stop and get food and take him to the basketball game and do all these things, and you look at Facebook and you're like, he is living his best life. And I am out here doing XYZ for his kids. That is definitely a reason to be angry. But what you know what it is not? It is not a reason
yes,
for you to be vindictive. And that and it is hard.
yes, because the
When
women
I
as
say
women can be
hard,
vindictive.
I have had my sister girl conversations. I have called my friends. I have poured brown liquor, drank a glass of wine, lit a candle, and talked to God a long time. But process it and move on. Process it and move on. It is not a time for vindictive. I'm just saying.
Yes, 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 yes. I agree with you 100%. And I love my ladies and I love my sisters. But what Judge Maybelline said, and this goes for my women, and this goes for my sisters, and it goes for my brothers. Honey, look deep before you leap, because 5 minutes of pleasure can cost you a whole lifetime pain.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And now we're trying to figure out how to make each other miserable.
Yep.
Wait a minute, Kenny, what was that? Oh, who? What was that?
It's the truth. We are literally here trying to
Where
figure
you
out how
at?
to
Come
make
on,
each
Johnny,
other
here. I
miserable.
hear you. Where you at?
Oh, I was saying, yeah, you're right. We are literally trying to make each other miserable instead of promoting each other. When you and I got to talk on the
Yeah,
phone, I always talk about us in unifying. And I know this is sort of like off topic, but in unity, when you see another black woman, sis, smile, wave. Don't give it a stink eye. Don't worry about whether her hair is real. Don't worry about if those are her lashes. Bless her day with your smile, and that as a black woman, you see her. And the same with black men. As you see another brother, it doesn't have to be confrontational when we see each other. The world is making us think that we have to be at each other. We don't. We do not. Um, I have met some of the best women in my life, and I honor them. That's why I'm on here with Grandma Polly now. Start honoring one another just a little bit at a time, and that anger that you have in you is gonna get pushed out of the way because somebody's gonna bless your soul just because you're you, not because you were
yeah,
vindictive.
Uh,
yes.
Shonda said something that I thought was interesting. You see it, guys?
You took it down. Put it
Oh, okay.
back. You took it down. Put it back. I am not a single mother, but I came from a single mom home. My mom was the best of the best, but I could never do like she did. She was stronger. If I was in the same situation, oh, you can't believe I would have filed for child support because of the principle of it. Why should it be one sided? We both used to be together and a child came about, then both should be financially and physically involved.
I agree.
Shonda, I agree with you to a point.
I
And,
agree
and,
with you.
and, and the, um, the financial and the physical, yes, I agree with you to a point. But what I'm talking about is where it gets nasty, where I'm in this battle. You don't want to do it, so now I'm going to make you do it. I'm going to fight you to do it. Oh, I'm going to have the man make you do it. And then the man on the other side, the heck with this. I ain't going to do it. They could take me to jail for not paying child support. I'll sit in there happy.
Right.
They can take away my driver's license. So many people out there driving without driver's license right now and insurance, they don't care. So when we get to that point, the point that I'm driving with that is that I'm making myself miserable because I want this man to suffer, and he's willing to take whatever consequences these people give him and could care less about me and the child. That's the only thing I'm driving home. What you're saying, yeah, they should be responsible, but when they're not, I'm not going to make myself sick trying to make them do it. Go ahead,
Mm.
Sinitra.
And it's so interesting, Shauna, because I agree with what
Yes,
you said
Sinitra, go ahead.
too. But it's the principle of the thing is where we as human beings are resting a lot of our stances on. Sometimes, if you want a great child, you got to lean from the principle and you got to do what's best for the child. It is literally that life ain't fair moment.
Mm-hmm.
It, it and it really it's not. It's should they be financially
Mm-hmm.
responsible? 100%. Don't get it twisted at all.
Yes.
And even if you make less, should you still put some money on it?
Mm-hmm.
I 100% believe that. For me, is you putting some money on it going to cause
Yes.
more drama in my life, more stress on my kid, and more anger? I
Yes.
always want peace before I choose anger. And that's where, and we're going to go back to
Speak
insurance
it.
claims real quick. I'd be like, don't get caught up in the principle of the thing. Get caught up in the resolution of the thing. That's where you are.
Mm. Woo, I like that.
Woo, wait a minute. Say that one more time. Don't take that piece down, Kenny, yet. But say that
Say that
last
one
thing
more
you just
time,
said,
Sinitra.
Sinitra.
That's my claims adjuster. Okay. Don't get caught up in the principle of the thing. Focus on the resolution of the thing. Because the
Mm.
principle of the thing isn't going to get you anywhere.
Yes.
The resolution will.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you wanted to
Yes.
see that?
Yes. I agree. I agree. I agree. Yes. I saw that. And we have to be real. Sometimes these things are done out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
You were fine. You said it, Sinitra, that you made more. You better. You were in a better position than the dad was.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to recognize that and keep going on. But there are some people out there who are in better positions, but because they're so angry, and it's because the person is not there, whether it be man or woman. Now we're going to deal with it in a different way, and it's not the fact that it's a need or a have to. It's just right now, okay, you did this, now I'm gonna have my way. And we need to get away from that. I mean, all of this stuff. How do we get back to communicating with each other, building each other up, and loving each other? No, we may not be under the same roof, but we should be able to be tolerable of each other.
Yeah, Todd, that's a beautiful word. Yes, Kim, please. Can we all go to
We can have
the
to have a
Lord's gathering
TV or
and be
so.
good? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was looking at what Karen wrote.
Can Tara say them again?
What Karen wrote, she agrees,
Oh,
but it can become an exercise in futility when you're the mother losing time from work, stressing yourself with your children, involving the courts, control in your life, and keeping that person tied to you when you need to let every aspect of them go.
Hmm.
I gotta get that one up too.
mm,
Hmm.
that's
Definitely.
deep.
Well, I wanna take a
That
moment,
is very
ladies.
deep. And
I'm gonna take a moment, and because there's some
yes.
conversations going on in the chat that are just amazing right now too, on the same topic, between Karen and Shonda and Artavia, all of them. There's some good stuff, and it just goes to show that a community is a beautiful thing to have. Where people can express themselves and hear different perspectives. Hear different perspectives and different ideas to create different outcomes in their
Mhm.
life. So I just want to take the time to shout out to those ladies, for commenting and being a part, being engaged with us in this conversation. All right, give them a little applause. Back to you two.
Oh, shoot. Y'all had it going on out here in the room. Y'all really did. They had a real conversation going on out here, and I'm glad y'all came. And this conversation is just not going to stop here. I mean, it's going to stop tonight, but it's a conversation that we will, continue. Because there are so many different aspects of it.
So many layers.
It really is. It's so many different aspects. There's so many layers to it. And okay, y'all had it going on out here in the room. See, I couldn't look at it to be too whilst I was on the phone. But I'm looking at it now. I'm glad y'all came and y'all doing it up out there. And y'all ladies, y'all out there in that situation, I want y'all to know from Grandma Polly and from Kenneth J, the show that we're creating, we're never here to bash anybody.
Never.
We're here to speak our thoughts. I'm no psychologist. I'm just a person who like to talk and I think a lot. And when I get these thoughts, I like putting my thoughts out there. So make you laugh. And I do, I talk a lot. But we're not here to say it's written in stone. But I believe that we have the conversations. We can figure things out and how to come together and make things a little easier in our lives. And I appreciate you all for joining us. Oh, Senetra, you will be back.
Yay! I enjoyed it. This was
This
wonderful.
is not your last time, sweetheart.
Thank you
I got
so
to go
much.
see you now.
Yeah, I think
When
Sinitra
I met you years ago, I just gained
Sinitra, you
so much
really
respect for you. Um,
you really
hey, Kenny,
gave some very
I think I got
powerful.
it.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
You
I
oh
thank you both for letting me even be here. This is great. And it speaks on what you were saying, Grandma Polly, about we all have a circle, and it's who you put in your circle. Now I have a circle. I know who will fight. I know who I can call, and they will curse and be ready to roll. But I also have friends like Grandma Polly who'd be like, maybe that's not the best route to take. Or like Karen who's like, let's pray. Or Pearl. So you need a well rounded crew. And this is the
Yeah,
foundation for a well rounded crew.
It is, and your wisdom and insight tonight. The way you even spoke it was like, tell me
yeah,
more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
yeah.
So I really appreciate having you. I know Renee always finds the best of the best, and you are truly one of the best. Your insight, your wisdom, and to way you throw it in with your insurance liability analyst, how you analyze it and break it down. I love that. That was that real clever. Don't be what is it? Principle, but be about the resolution.
Yes. Resolution.
Yes,
That's where the money is.
Definitely.
that's it.
Any thing you'd like to? Well, we got some more
Yeah.
time. I just wanted to put that out there because they were having a conversation too, and it I just felt compelled. I guess God put it on my heart to acknowledge what the conversation they were having as well. So, Renee.
Okay, so I see what you're doing. I know I have a delay. Oh, so you gonna give them that extra 15 minutes that we gave the guys last week?
Yeah, you can have whatever they want.
Okay,
Y'all
fine.
ladies, man, y'all could have whatever you want.
Okay, you know what, Kenny,
Yes.
open up the lines.
Okay.
See if anybody want to call in.
It's opened
Oh,
up.
we can let you, Senetra. They can call in.
Oh, this should be fun.
Anybody out
And
there,
I
you have
just,
a question, a
Shonda, if
statement, a
she can hear
remark?
me, Shonda,
Come on, call in and talk to us.
like I love what Shonda says. And I get it so much. It is annoying. It is hurtful. But the greater goal is for me to raise a good human being who's not a jerk.
Mm.
And that is like my
Yes.
priority. That is where it gets. And Chico last week when he was talking about his health, again, that was so powerful to me because my running joke is I am black, I am a former smoker, and I am overweight. I am a walking statistic for everything that comes on CNN. They always like, that's gonna get you if you do one of these two. I'm all of those things.
Wow.
So I try to keep the stress low.
That's what's up. That is definitely what's up. Karen had another great
Mm-hmm.
thought, man.
I got Kenny, one quick thing.
Yes.
Kenny, I think I have a delay, but you're blocking that number with Karen's statement. So once you
Okay.
read that, if you take that down, or just say the number out because they don't have it.
Okay. The number is
Yeah, let them know that that number is
four
going
seven
across the
eight
stream.
202 4271. If you want to join in this conversation live, because we see it all in the chat, but we'd like to hear your thoughts emulate from your voice.
Mhm. Call. They don't have to be shy. And now that you put that number out there, you could go back to who was that? Karen
Karen,
comment
yeah.
that you said
Mm-hmm.
that you was getting ready to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Shonda, Karen, y'all call it.
profound, yeah.
That was the route that I had to take as a single parent. I had to forgive and not seek restitution, especially because I felt my child deserved his financial support. But God has blessed us with my phone cut. There you go.
That
Sometimes
is
I'd rather have my peace over money.
every time. And what Karen said,
Go ahead, Smitra.
because I hadn't really talked about God much, but let me tell you, He has blessed the things that Asali and I have been allowed to do. It scares me almost to the extent that again, I don't want her plan A to be single mom life. But she said, you know what? I love that you're a single mom because we get to do so much stuff together. And I was like, that's because God blesses our socks off. Mama is not a baller. But if there is a need, God has not failed me yet. And and even he's gone beyond. We've done things. We've gone camping. I would never go camping, FYI. I'm just saying. And it was great. So it's always these opportunities. This opportunity, the opportunity for a solid to see you, Grandma Paula, and know that you wrote a book. That opens up her world completely different. She's laid eyes on somebody who's done that. So he continues to position me and her in greatness. And it helps with the anger that when I look at it that way, I'm like, but God, yeah, you didn't pay, but you know what? They just gave us free drums and gave us a free week of camp. But God.
Wow.
So,
There you go.
I do have a question
There
for
you
you,
go.
Sinitra.
oh,
And the funny
is it
thing
claims
is you
related?
said that, Sanitra, and you said that, King. I'm gonna let you. It's so funny. Not only did Sally have the privilege of meeting me, but she had the
Right.
privilege of meeting my grandchildren. And now her mom, for the last how many of years, actually has her phone number. So if we want to talk, we could talk.
Right. My
You know.
village is
So
amazing. It is my village, I am so blessed. So it's hard to be angry and be blessed at the same time for me. Um because he's done so much, and the more you recognize what God's doing in the direction he's leading you, because he's going to cover you. We are the widows and the orphans in the Bible. He set up a plan for us, period.
mm-hmm,
So you start looking at those.
mm-hmm.
The You get distracted. Anger is true. So blessed.
I agree 100%. I totally agree. And I feel like when we get to that point, and not just with moms and dads going back and forth, but just in life, I believe that when we become angry because of something someone else has done, look at the control that we're giving to them.
Hmm.
There's so much control there.
It is.
Why should I allow you to interrupt my peace?
Hmm.
And
He's sitting at a red
Kenny, I
light thinking
forgot to
about
do
you
this at the
mad.
beginning because it was just so good. Yeah, because and they ain't even thinking about you. They don't went to bed. Y'all know what? I thank y'all for joining. And we forgot to ask y'all, come on, give us some loves. Keep hitting them hearts. You know, because we keep the conversation real. It's not to bash anybody, but we keep it real.
Mhm.
And that's all I got to say, Kenny. You and Sanitra, you know, y'all go ahead and do y'all do.
Well, Sinitra, I did have another question for you.
Yes.
And being a single parent, you said it's deliberate in the things that you do. I know you mentioned about camping that you would never camp, but it's something you stepped out of your. Is it something that she mentioned that she wanted to do, or was that? How did that even come about?
Girl Scouts.
Girl, oh,
So she
okay.
had to do Girl Scouts, and I'm not that. I'm not that mom. I'm not the Girl Scout mom. I'm not the PTA mom. I'm the adventure mom, but that other stuff. And so one of the ladies, they had us all pumped up. We're all gonna go camping. Everybody backed out except for us. She
Wow,
was like, "Can we go?" Okay. And so we went,
Mm.
and I will tell you this: it was the best time I ever had in my life. And if I ever
awesome.
do a vacation again, and having me being black, if you didn't know, and she's black too, my daughter. I like her to have experiences that quote unquote black people don't have. So I need her to go camping. She learned how to play golf. I'm intentional with diversity. I'm intentional with we have a drum set downstairs.
Wow, you're
you you have to be intentional. I'm big on her and being the best her she can be. They're like, she's like you. I'm like, she's way better than me.
mm,
Way better. So, and that's my goal.
well, you're
Because
doing it.
Grandma Polly, I'm gonna make you laugh. Remember I told you I was gonna put these lashes on? Well, one is floating around. I'm just gonna sit that over here to the right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't see. I feel better now. Sorry about that. Woo. Thank you.
Sinitra, you are too funny, man. Oh man.
I have to take that one off. Don't get scared. It's not a spider.
That's why I don't wear them.
Man.
That is awesome.
I
No.
really do appreciate you for coming in. And I always appreciate you. But I always appreciate my brother because I love what we're doing together. But Senetra, I just appreciate you so much for being here. And like I said, from the day I met you, it was like, I'm gonna say this, and I don't want y'all women to think of it in another way. Like y'all be like, "Oh, I saw that guy and it was love at first sight." No, that's what got some of us in trouble right now. But when I met you, there was just something about you that stuck. It was just something about you that stuck with me,
It,
and you are a true friend, and I thank you for that. And I'm
thank,
glad you were here tonight to shed some light on some of the things that you have been through and how we can work together.
thank you, and the same for you. I adore you. You know that. I'm a. I don't know what they know about you. This woman's amazing. This individual woman feeds people that you'll never see, helps people that you'll never see, and she might never see. So it is an honor to be on here. Whenever you, that's it. That's all I got to say. You're a blessing. You're walking in your gift.
It's awesome. Well, I just want to say
Well,
thank
I
you.
thank you, my love. I really do. And
And buy her book. Sorry. It's really good.
Look at those words right there.
Thank you, Karen.
yes,
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, for taking time out of their night to be a part of this conversation when they could have been doing anything else, but you're here joining us and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. And Senetra, thank you for your wisdom, for your beauty, for the take home. My take home tonight, I'm telling you, leave the principality alone and deal only in the resolution.
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 Exactly.
It shall be televised. The resolution. Oh, it's a resolution. It's a that is so key right there. It's about resolution. That's what it's all about. And like Grandma Polly says, the communication factor is where it all is going to start. You know, that's where everything starts, and coming together, communing like we're doing, and expressing ourselves, but being respectful to one another, and not being offensive, and just putting it out there, the facts like it really is. And there's so many layers of facts that, I mean, we can have this conversation for eons and still not get to the bulb of it, you know. But thank you so much. Thank you kindly for having us. My sis, Grandma Polly, thank you so much for your, I don't know, where do I start with you? I don't know.
Amazing, wonderful greatness.
Yeah, she's all that and some. And then that smile, it just warms me. When I see her smile like a little girl, I just be like, see, right there. That smile right
Yeah.
there. That's it. That's it. And we'd like to thank all our Facebook guests for chiming in tonight, sharing your thoughts. You definitely gave us some food for thought to add on to the already delectable, delicious conversation that we were having. So thank you all for that. Karen, Shonda, Artavia, let me get some more names. Michelle, Lou Esther. Thank you so much for that. I know Renee and I will probably go back over and review some of those conversations that were had, and just probably reach out to people. More than likely, definitely reach out to them and thank them in other ways. But any final words of wisdom, Senetra, that you'd like to grace upon us?
Be blessed. Be kind. Be honorable.
Perfect. And sis, Grandma Polly.
I just say, let's get on the love train. We got unite. Even though, well, you know what? Wait a minute. No, forget the train. We got set fire. We go the love truck. Let's get
Oh
on
yeah,
this
the love truck. Yeah, the big rig truck. The love big rig truck.
Love truck. Let's get on this love truck. Yes.
Let's do that.
And I thank you guys for joining. Next week I'll be coming at you guys. I'll be in New York, but we still going live, and we still gonna do what we do.
That's right.
I'll be in New York. My brother is still here, and we're gonna do what we do. Location does not matter. We make it do what it do.
The only location that
And I
matters.
apologize for my delay tonight. I don't know if it's rain or whatever.
Yeah, we're having bad
Huh?
weather. Yeah, I can tell because whenever it's
Yeah.
done, we're in this weather, Renee. I noticed that
Yeah.
it does that with you. So, we apologize for that, and still got comments coming in. But Senetra, thank you so much. God bless you. God love you. I love to meet your daughter, man. Sometime.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. You're awesome. You know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And just
That is awesome. Oh, and Senetra, God, it just slipped my mind that quick.
we're just gonna say
Nephew,
tune in every Thursday
him
night.
too. He's awesome.
What'd she say? What'd you say, Renee?
I can't hear. I only got one lash on. What'd you say?
oh
I took them both off. I can hear now.
my God.
Miguel.
Oh, my nephew. He's wonderful.
Both of them. Miguel. Yes,
He's
love him.
Miguel.
Love
I was
him.
telling
You
you,
know,
said
so
hi.
tell him I sent my love.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So without any further ado, you can tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m., guys. And Grandma Polly will have a conversation to bring out the heartfelt sentiments that need to be said, but often sometimes go unheard. So check her out every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Same Grandma Polly time, same Grandma Polly channel. Love you guys.
Bye.
Oh, Drew.
The big rig kids, roll with the big rig kids. Let's Sapphire the truck take you to such amazing places with the big rig kids. Those helpful big rig kids. See how they give and grow and get to know amazing things. Learn with the big rig kids, and you'll see how it is to have adventure days and hang and play with all your friends. Because the big rig kids know what it is to live a most exciting and inviting life is positive. Sapphire with the voice of wisdom keeps the story rolling, and by golly, Grandma Polly drives them all to where they're going. Hop on in, everybody. Let's go! Caden, he's the leader of the crew. He's smart and brave and true. Sasha, Caden's twin, she cares a lot but can be stubborn too. Caden loves a good book too. And then Sasha, she's a regular computer guru. These are the big rig kids. Roll with the big rig kids. Let Sapphire the truck take you to such amazing places with the big rig kids. Those helpful big rig kids. See how they give and grow and get to know amazing things. Now Maria can be rude and bossy, braces on her legs and knees, but it's not fun and hard to run with a disability.